imagine what you can do, and this is how much you can make.
What kind of support do you give?
We do not just sit. So it's a two-part system. It kind of like,
because I love to sell, but I do nobody any good.
What did you do when you brought him on? How did you inspire him to be up to the level of your expectation?
high commission. I'm a firm believer in the lower base, but I want to incentivize by not only paying very well in commission, but also throwing bonuses. We hit our goals, there's a bonus every month. And depending on how much you contributed to it, depends on how much you get of it. And you hit it 6 months in a row, get another bonus. So it's one of the things that I do feel like rewarding them is huge. You know, I do more of a hands-on approach with the teaching too. Like I do like to show them, like I said, I'm still in sales. So I like, they can listen to my calls, they can watch me do it, like whatever the case may be there. I just feel like that does help out quite a bit to just show them like, this is how much I've done while not being able to 100% focus on sales. So this is what, imagine what you can do. This is all you're going to do. You just sell and this is how much you can make, and it's all based off of you. If it works for you, great. And I laid that out in front before offering. And, I do like to do a two approach. Like I'll present them two commission structures, right? One with higher base, low commission or lower commission, and one with lower base, higher commission, and they'll make much more on the higher commission. And it's like, which one would you pick if I offered you a job? So.
Ooh, love that.
That is really a really good idea.
I love
that's
that.
A great quality, because if they go for the high base, wonder.
Not for me.
Yeah. So
what do you do then? Take it away?
Yeah. What do you do?
No, I just like I said, this is part of like the last interview phase, right? You're in front of them. You're like, hey, if this is a good fit for both of us, these are the type of structures that I have laid out for my salespeople. Which one would you pick?
And
I let
if
them
he
pick.
says, I want the $500,000 a year with no commission,
I'm just like, okay, perfect. We'll be in touch, and then I just leave it like that.
Just
and then
never talk again.
No. I'll call back and say, we decided to move in another direction, but that just lets me know that the hunger's not there, and I need hunger.
Yeah,
people.
I love I've used that in verbal form. I've never thought about actually writing out two commission structures in which the base is incredibly low, but like incredibly high upside, and then show them the difference and then have them decide. That's such a good qualifier right there.
Yeah, and I think we explain it to them, and when we know it backwards and forwards because we talk about it all the time, but for them they probably like okay, they don't understand, right? Like they're not following, but they don't want to look bad, so they just agree, and then here we are overpaying them for the base, because at the end of the day, everybody's gonna, if they're presented in their mind with two different things, one's 1,500 and one's 3,000, they're going for 3,000, right? Like, why wouldn't you? I guess that's where the support that you're going to give once they're on is a really important component of it too. What kind of support do you give?
So what I do is it's a two-part system. I use TeleDudes, our telemarketer, as a person to have leads coming in, right? Or calls coming in to them. But that's not the only thing. I do expect follow-up. We do not just sit, especially today. So it's a two-part system. It kind of like, you just have to spin that. You have to support them. I mean, if you're going to tell them, hey, you can make X amount with me, you better have a plan in store for them. If they're taking a chance on you, right? You need to make
100%.
sure that you have something in place for them, a system that is going to help them.
It's funny, you reminded me of what it was like when I first started. I remember hiring people thinking like, oh my gosh, like you'd hire them, they would come in all excited. Within like a couple months, they're like, I'm never gonna make money, and then they would leave. And then fast forward to actually spending money on marketing, it was like, dude, we're in this together. Like, I'm buying you tons of leads. Like, it became more of a joint relationship, and you could like believe in it and like actually follow those steps that you lay out.
I think you're missing a big part of that too. You gave them the why, right? Like what we were talking about today earlier. Like in the first example, it was all what, right? Like, hey, you're gonna make the money. If you do this, you make a bunch of money. But you pivoted when that second set and you went through it. Hey, we can make an impact on the people that we insure because we're gonna give them better coverage. Literally, I know for certain that there's tons of people that have the wrong coverage out there and nobody does a damn thing about it, right? Like they go over to the other place. The other place says, okay, I'm going to match you apples to apples. Okay, great. And they do that, right? But where did the apple come from? Like they started when they were 16 and they've had the same coverage since they were 16, So my kids were in a head-on. It was the scariest day of my life. Thankfully, they didn't get hurt. They're fine. But in that head-on, like we learned the other driver who was at fault had 100, 300. That's nice. 15 for property damage. 15, 100, 315 with a gecko, right? And it's like, what a gross oversight, right? Like imagine if she didn't hit my kids in an old Avalon, but instead hit me in the Model X, right? Now there's a problem, right?
Yep.
And it's such a tiny detail that could have a huge impact, because if they hit that car, oh shit, I'm going after them, right? Like, I don't care. I'm taking your house to pay for my car because it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so it's like, we literally impact their lives and protect them from something that could be detrimental. And it's difficult to move them from that, but that's part of our responsibility as in what we do. And I think then also, like you talked about how you're selling, like I haven't logged in and sold a policy forever, right? But I still sell in that I'm selling that vision and that why to my team so that they can do it. Because I love to sell, but I do nobody any good by me, making $15 for the year on a renter's policy. Like that doesn't move the needle.
Yeah.